in this kit today. We have a first aid eye wash. This is actually just a saline solution. You can use it to squirt in the eyes, or I also use it just to squirt to clean a wound. It doesn't have to be an eye. You can squirt it anywhere. If there's a cut, it'll clean things out. You've got some pressure behind it, and it'll help to rinse out a wound. We also have isopropyl alcohol in a pump spray. This is for mainly not for pet use, but for cleaning your instruments, anything that you have in here. Also to kill ticks and fleas. It works really well if you're going to spray them with that as well after you try to crush them. So this is good for not pet use, but good for cleaning. We have hydrogen peroxide in here. We use this for cleaning as well, or we can also use this to, at the right doses, help a dog to throw up a toxin. Now we'll go over toxins later. It's important that some toxins should be vomited and some should not be vomited, so you have to be very careful with that. You need to call your veterinarian and the Poison Control Center, and they'll tell you if you need to induce vomiting or not. We have an antiseptic spray in here. This is good for stopping infections and for preventing infections after you've cleaned the wound. This is good for, you leave this on for a good 10 minutes contact time to kill whatever's there. We put in this burn spray. It's actually just a topical lidocaine analgesic type spray that if you need to kind of numb an area or something's painful, you can use this as an analgesic. Not really, you can put it on a burn, but we use it more for the numbing effects of it. We have a splint. It's got metal on the inside, and we're going to take this out and cut it, but this is in case of a fracture or you need to immobilize a leg. This is a splint to do that. We have a pair of bandage scissors, the blunt tip on the end, and we had to put in a heavy-duty pair to be able to cut the metal that's in this splint. We have a flea comb that works for graspers as well, and we'll go over how to use that. And also a pair of tweezers for taking off ticks or pulling splinters. We have the magnifying glass. It'd be good if you had a light as well. Those things can work together to help you see better. You're dealing again with an animal with fur. Multi-tool, it's always good to have it around. You can grab things, you've got a knife, you've got a screwdriver. There's lots of things you can do with a multi-tool just in case you don't have anything handy. Also have a whistle with a lanyard around it. This way, if you are in an emergency situation, you're off the road, you need to whistle for help, you can tell people where you are and get people's attention. This is an emergency blanket. We use it to keep animals warm, and we can also use this for transporting animals in certain situations. You just want to make sure the animal's not standing when you're transporting it because the nails will cut right through it. But if the dog's laying down, you can use this for transport. We'll go over that as well. Most important thing in the kit, in my opinion, slip leash. You can use this to control the pet and to make an improvised muzzle so you can stay safe. We have a bulb syringe to help if there's a lot of congestion, nasal congestion, or something in the mouth or throat. You can also use this to flush wounds. If you put water in it and then squeeze it out, you can use it to flush. Here's our syringe. This is for feeding electrolyte solutions or feeding hydrogen peroxide, depending on the dosage of that. But we have a syringe in here to help with that. Oh, you can also use this, suck some water up into it, and use it to flush a wound as well. Thermometer, we need to know what the baseline temperature of our pet is, if it's too high or too low. We have wound seal powder, so that if we have a bleeding wound or a toenail that won't stop bleeding, the wound seal powder can help you with that. We have some cotton balls in here for use for cleaning things, or you can use them to clean inside the ears, just the parts that you can see. These little cotton swabs are used to also clean inside the folds in the ear. Don't ever put them down inside, but you can get some of the folds and the flap of the ear. For bandaging, we have some non-adherent pads. These won't stick to the wounds. You can put antibiotic ointment on them and put them right over the wound, and this is your first layer on a bandage so that it doesn't stick. Then we also have 2 different sizes of pads. You use this under the bandage as the next layer that provides the cushion to the bandage and also helps control bleeding. Then what we have for the next layer of the bandage, this is conforming gauze. We unroll it and wrap it as the next layer. This holds all these things onto the wound. And then we have elastic wrap that goes as the top layer of the bandage. So these are all our bandaging materials. and then some tape to be able to hold it on there and provide a non-skid surface there for the dogs to walk on if it's on a foot. We have a hot pack and a cold pack that you can activate and use. If the dog is really, really cold and you can put your emergency blanket over to warm him up, this is a hot pack that you can activate and wrap in the washcloth so that you're not putting it directly on the skin, but you can wrap this up and use it for a heat source. Or in another instant, if you have inflammation, you can go ahead and wrap it up in here and use it to cool an area for inflammation. All right, so here's some gauze pads. We use these for cleaning wounds. I'll take some of the antiseptic spray and spray it onto the gauze pad and use it to clean a wound, or you can spray it right on the wound, but this will help you to clean the wound more effectively. We have the lube here for the thermometer so that it doesn't hurt when you're taking a temperature. This is called a Metastopper multi-purpose bandage. This is a large bandage in case of a large bleeding wound or a wound on the body, on the side. This will be more effective at bandaging than just these individual components, and we'll go over how to use this. This is for a large bleeding wound. We have our trash sack and our clothespin so that you're outside and the wind's blowing, you can manage your trash well and just clip it right there to the bag. This is liquid skin. It's basically a tissue glue that can cover a wound to provide a little bit of layer of protection.
When would you use that?
If I had a small superficial type wound, I would put this on it. Hold the edges together. All right, we also have gloves. You definitely want to have gloves available, especially when you're working with ticks. You don't want to have a tick bite you, so it's important to have gloves on. We have some triple antibiotic ointment in here for small wounds. You can put that on to help with infection. We also have hand sanitizer, and this is for when you get done, you can use these wipes to sanitize your own hands either before or after your work. We also have some hydrocortisone ointment in here. This is if there's some swelling or an allergic reaction from a bug bite or a sting. You can put that on and it will help with the inflammation. We have alcohol wipes in here. These were not meant for use on the pet. These are meant for cleaning. It's great for using on the thermometer when you're done before you put it away. We also have the one medication in here is an antihistamine. It's diphenhydramine, and we have a dosage chart for you to know how many to give. But this is a relatively safe antihistamine in case of an allergic reaction or a bug bite or bee sting. If we have low blood sugar, like in puppies or hunting dogs will get it when they haven't eaten in a while and used a lot of energy, this is basically a glucose gel. You can feed it to them by putting it on their tongue, or you can actually rub it on the gums, and that will help absorb the glucose into the body through the gums. This is for an emergency. In cases of dehydration, we have a bowl that you can put water. We've got packets of water in here, just drinking water. You can open and pour in and give to your pet so you have it with you. Also, if they're really dehydrated, you can give an electrolyte supplement that dissolves in the water. And what it is this whole packet is for 1 liter. So this is a quarter of a liter, 250 mils. So if you're using one packet, you're going to put in about a quarter, and you can guess, just about a quarter of the packet in here. Or if you use both waters, you're going to use about a half a packet, and just mix it up and let your dog drink it. I think that's all we have in here right now. This kit, I think that every household should have a first aid kit for people, and every household should have a first aid kit for your pets. They're just going to be different. I think that's very important because there's so many uses that you may have. You could maybe at home, maybe away, maybe we have hunting dogs, it may be puppies. I think everyone should have access to some kind of first aid for their pets.